We're here with Mari Stein of the Central College Women's Cross Country and Track and Field team. Mari had a really good cross country season and then jumped into the indoor season of track. Mari, what were your expectations going into the indoor track season?
I really didn't have any expectations for myself other than just to get faster from high school since I didn't compete last year and this was my first real track season in a while. So I just wanted to get better and that's what I did.
You had a pretty good track season up until the conference meet, the indoor conference meet, and you were seated at somewhere in the top 5 headed into the 800-meter final, and you kind of stunned the field, edging a girl from Wartburg. Talk about that moment, that race.
Yeah, so I was in, I think, 6th place coming off the, second lap, and then I just gunned it once we got to about 300 to go. I was like, I still have more in the tank, and I just kind of gave it everything I had. And then once I came up on that, about 50 left, and I saw the Wartburg girl getting really close to me, it was a really cool feeling.
And you added another all-conference performance by finishing 3rd in the mile. How did you feel about the meet as a whole?
I feel like the meet as a whole went really well, not only for myself, but for my other teammates. I think a lot of us had PRs that day, so that was really awesome. And just an overall really fun weekend.
Across the country, there's stories about athletes who had wild experiences with this COVID-19 pandemic, but your story is especially unique. You went to a last chance meet to try to qualify for nationals. You didn't make it. The list came out, and you kind of had started to move on to outdoor season, and then you get a call Wednesday saying you're qualified. Talk about that moment and what happened from there.
Yeah, so that week was just really weird for me altogether. I had mentally switched to thinking about outdoor season. I felt like I had a lot of momentum going into outdoor season, considering I ran a pretty good time at the last chance meet, but it just wasn't quite good enough to get in. And so then I got a call about 11 o'clock on Wednesday morning, and it was Coach Dunham, and he just said really calmly, "You got into nationals, do you want to go?" And I was like, yeah, of course. And so I just got really, really excited, and I was at the airport within 3 hours of finding out. And yeah, so that day was just pretty crazy. And then fast forward to the next day, we found out at about 4 o'clock that the meet was canceled. I remember Kennedy Morris walked into our hotel room, and she was just like, "Guys, the meet's canceled." And we all just started crying. We didn't really know what to do. And we kind of just felt like the whole trip was for nothing at that point, which was obviously false. We ended up having a really good time. After that, we went to eat at a lot of cool places, had some really good bonding time together. But at that point, when we found out, it was just really devastating for us. But overall, the trip was a really fun trip. So.
Talk a little bit more about that bonding experience. If you followed along on the Central Track and Field Twitter and Instagram accounts, there was a lot of team bonding, and I know Sturman was really complimentary of that experience. Even though you didn't get to compete, it was still like a cool experience.
Yeah, so after we found out, we were supposed to go to the Nationals banquet that night, which had gotten canceled before the meet was canceled. So we already were planning on not going to the banquet. And we decided to just get dressed up anyway, go to this really good Italian restaurant, cute little place. And then after that, we met up with the rest of the conference. And the Dubuque coach just kind of gave a speech about, how hard we'd worked and how cool it was that we were all there and that our hard work wasn't for nothing. And hopefully we could get to have more of those experiences and actually get to race. But yeah, just kind of being positive about the whole experience. And then the next day we just had some fun. We went to a few cool shops and just spent some really good time together. And those are some really awesome memories that I'll always cherish.
Flash forward to now, you come back to campus and you go home for spring break, and then we don't get to come back as every other school in the country has gone online. How has that been for you since you've gotten out back home with training and with school? How is all that for you?
Yeah, so I've made it a priority to keep running just because even though we don't technically start cross-country training until June, Mentally for me, it's just been a really good outlet to get out of the house every day, to not feel like I've been cooped up and am not able to do anything. So I've kept training. Dunham has kept sending out microcycles for us if we want to use them. So I've been going off of those, which has been really helpful for me. And just building a really good base as much as possible. And it's really hard for me to do online school just because I have a hard time focusing when I'm at home. And I mean, I can't go to any coffee shops, can't really go anywhere else to do it. So that's been a challenge, time management for sure. But overall, I've just gotten used to it, I guess.
And then last question, the women's distance program had a really good year, a big group of freshmen who ran really well. What is your hope for this group of girls that is going to be our cross-country team, but also the distance program for track moving forward?
Yeah, so we have a really awesome group of girls coming in the fall, and we've already been in contact with them. We've been having Zoom meetings already, so that's been really awesome, and to just kind of help motivate each other through all of this that's been going on, and just not being able to train together, I think, has been the hardest part. And yeah, I'm just super excited about what the next year is going to bring. I know all of us who are returning have been working super hard and are mentally ready to go for the fall. And then I know all those seniors that are coming in, they might not get their season. So I think they're all going to be a little bit hungry for some races come fall.